have no fear, the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is here. Biggity boom. Have no fear, the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is in the place to be on today's banging, high-flying, hard-hitting, museum-quality I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. January 20th, 2025 came and went. What did you do on Inauguration Day? What did you do on Inauguration Day? Did you care? Did you not care? Did you scream? Did you yell? Did you cry? Did you tune it all out and watch a big, long, all-day slate of NBA? Plus, big body Baron Trump. Big body Baron Trump. I like big body. Big body is like a 6'8" Timothy Chalamet. And the NFL has unfolded poor Mark Andrews, and I'm giving flowers. I am giving flowers. He deserves it to Russell the Love Muscle Westbrook. I love Russell Westbrook, and I'll explain why. All that morning, high-flying, hard-hitting, fully disruptive I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast coming up right now. Miles Jordan, a.k.a. the Bleach Brothers, a.k.a. the Dust Brothers. Start this puppy with something real nice. Start this puppy with something real loud. But most importantly, start this high-flying, hard-hitting I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast off with something real funky. It's the I Am Rapaport Podcast.
I Am Rapaport Podcast.
Boom! Oh yeah! Huh. Have no fear, the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is here. Higgity, have no fear, the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is in the place to be. Welcome to the Iron Dome of Disruption. Welcome to the Ziggity Zone of Disruption. Name is Michael Rapaport, a.k.a. the Inflamed Ashkenazi, a.k.a. the Disruptive Warrior, a.k.a. the Gringo Mandingo, a.k.a. the Raging Bullshitter. Hope everybody's feeling real good. Hope everybody's feeling real safe. Hope everybody's feeling real sane. Welcome to the Iron Dome of Disruption. Welcome to the Ziggity Zone of Disruption. I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast coming loud, live, and direct from the gloom tomb. Oh yeah, baby. It happened. I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. It happened. And I was standing in the pocket. Standing in the pocket. Like Tom Brady in his prime. Like Dan Marino in his prime. Standing in the pocket. I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast has been podcasting for 10 and a half years. We've been through it all. The highs, the thicks, the thins. I mean, there's been so much kooky, chaotic, glorious, monumental podcast that we have done. And I feel very, very confident that this is also going to be a museum quality I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. What can I say? January 20th, 2025 came and went. You guys good? Everybody feeling okay? What'd you do on Inauguration Day? What'd you do on Inauguration / Martin Luther King / College Football Championship / NBA full slate day? There was a lot going on the last few days. A lot going on, but inauguration happened, went off without a hitch. Donald Trump is the president of the United States once again. Holy fucking shit. And cadaver Joe Biden and Dr. Jill Biden, they're gone. A lot of people DM'd me, have left comments saying, why aren't you calling him Dick Stain Donald Trump? Why aren't you calling him Pig Dick Donald Trump? And I asked the same question to you. Why aren't you calling him Dick Stain Donald Trump? Why aren't you calling him Pig Dick Donald Trump? Why are you asking me to continue to do your dirty work? Why are you asking me to go out there on a limb and say and do things that you would never dare say in public or private? Why aren't you calling him names? Why aren't you screaming and yelling into your phone? I do what I do, and I do it at the highest level. If you listen, if you watch the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, and you could listen and you could watch the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. For those of you listening to the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, you can now watch me in fully fully glorious 4K. I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is available on my YouTube channel at Michael Rapaport. At Michael Rapaport. You could see me in the flesh. I'm moving, I'm grooving. I dance. I catch shoulder spasms. I do it all. We do it. We do it all. I do it all. Okay? But you could watch me on YouTube at Michael Rapaport. But don't come to me. Don't come to me if you ain't gonna do it yourself. I've said it. I've articulated enough and explained enough. I did say on the last I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast to not treat these politicians like they're your favorite sports team or favorite athlete. I want to encourage you, maybe you should. Maybe you should treat these politicians like they're your favorite sports team or your favorite athlete, because any hard-body fan of the Knicks, any hard-body fan of any team, the Detroit Lions, Baltimore Ravens, any sport, if you really love your team, you're going to criticize your team. Why did you make that play? We need to fire the coach. Take this one out of the game. He's a bum. But you won't say anything about the politicians in your political party. Because if you're saying something about the politicians in your political party, you're being disloyal. But you all over Mark Andrews, you all over Sammy Sosa, you all over your quarterback, you shit all over your point guard, you call for this coach of your favorite team to be fired, but you got nothing to say about your elected officials. You'll just sit there and just take it. Hold these people's feet to the fire. Vote for them. Call them out. Criticize them. Don't vote for them. Threaten to never vote again. Do it all. Be active in your political ways. Don't just sit there like, I voted for him and I don't want to see. No. Be active. You got to be active in this. I'm active in this. But what a day. What a day. Inauguration 2025. And I got to say, the star of the show was my guy, Big Body Baron Trump. Big Body Baron Trump is that guy. Big Body Baron is 6'8", got beautiful slick back hair, looking like a ginormous Timothy Chalamet. Big Body Baron Trump looks like a 6'8" Timothy Chalamet ding dong. I fuck with Big Body. I always have fucked with Big Body Baron. He's that dude. Big Body's gonna do good things in this world. And I was thinking, while Big Body was up there, standing in the back, hulking, big goon, the Knicks should sign him to a 10-day, see what he's got. Mitch Robinson ain't coming back anytime soon. You never know. You need another big man in the post. He looks like he got a soft touch, that Big Body. Big Body Baron. I rock with you. Young man, strong young man. Independent young man. He's at NYU. He could have left. Big Body could have left NYU. He didn't have to go to school in the city where his father is probably more controversial than anywhere else in the world, especially right now with all things going on with Alvin, the Hamburglar, Bragg. Shout out to my man Alvin Bragg, Harlem's finest. But Big Body was like, I'm not going to Cali. I'm not going to Michigan. I'm not going to Florida. I'm staying right here in the cut. Staying right here. This is my city. Big Body's like, this is my city. I'm going to NYU. What you want to do about it? And while Big Body was up there at the inauguration, and the other brothers, Eric and Donald Jr., those two goofballs, while they were up there, I was thinking, I wonder if those two dudes try Big Body. Like they're brothers, they're half brothers. I wonder if they tussle. Like if they try to, rough them up. Like, we're the bigger brothers, blah, 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 we were here first. Because they got to feel threatened by Big Body Baron. I know that Eric and Don Jr. absolutely feel threatened by Big Body Baron. Not just because of his height. He does his own thing. He doesn't have any siblings. He's just out there solo, 6'8", hair slicked back. Big Body, I bet you Melania got him in jiu-jitsu. I bet you Big Body beat the out of Eric and Dick Stain Donald Trump Jr. respectfully. I bet you he puts them in like I bet you they tried him. They probably were like, punching him around when he was like 12, 13. And then Melania was like, you don't need to do that, And she put him in jujitsu. And I bet you Big Barry's like, yo, what's good? What's good? He put him in like a choke out. It's weekend with the release of 3 hostages. It was a crazy weekend with the Snoop Dogg controversy. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Rick Rose were at a Trump crypto ball. And they had Snoop there, and Snoop, who has been I was in a video with Snoop Dogg. And Snoop is, he's been outspoken about Trump. And people were just going off when they found out he was at this ball. I mean, going off. And there's rumors that maybe he did that for money, or maybe he did that for some reasons tied together with Puffy, and one day he's gonna need a favor, and da-da-da-da-da. And there's all kinds of, people lost their mind. And then Gayle King, she was making a comment about the inauguration. She said, why aren't there more people of color? Because every time a person of color shows up to anything regarding Trump, the whole fucking world comes after him. Look what you're going after Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross. Why he invited Soulja Boy? Somebody's got to be like, yo, nobody gives a fuck about Soulja Boy. No disrespect to Soulja Boy, but you could do better. Or just go with Snoop and Rick Rose. Soulja Boy, and then Nelly, he performed. And Gayle King is like, why isn't there more people of color at the inauguration? It doesn't matter if you're a singer, athlete, If you show up at something to do with Trump, you're gonna get dragged all over the place. You see who they don't talk shit to? John Jones. Nobody's saying anything about John Jones. Nobody's stepping to John Jones like, you sell out. You get your fucking arm broken. You go to John Jones and start talking that Trump shit, you get your arm broken. You get put in an ankle lock. Get a toe twisted off your foot. Take your big toe, twist that shit off your foot. Eat it. Like beef jerky. Say something to John Jones. Nobody's saying anything to John Jones about going into Trump things. Walk up on John Jones and talk greasy. I'm jumping ahead of this because people are going to say, yo, Rap, why's your shirt not ironed? Your shirt's not ironed, and I'm gonna let you know, every time I rock this shirt, people go, yo, you don't have an iron? And I go, yo, you don't know about Japanese cotton? What's that? It's Japanese cotton. So don't ask me about an iron if you don't know about this Japanese cotton. So? No, not so. It lays like this. This is how it lays. This is a Japanese cotton shirt. Okay? I don't have a lot of pieces when it comes to my wardrobe, but the pieces that I have, they're the row, Japanese cotton. Don't ask me about an iron if you don't know anything about Japanese cotton. This is the way this shirt lays. You hit this with an iron, it goes right back to this. This is a specific kind of cotton. They thread only in Japan, okay? Don't ask me about, why my shit is wrinkly. This ain't wrinkly. This is how it was made. I don't know what brand it is either. But don't come looking around. I perform in this shirt. I love this shirt. One of my favorite shirts. I've had this shirt for about 11 years. Fantastic shape. Because it's Japanese cotton. What else happened this weekend? Dave Chappelle. I like Dave Chappelle. No Dave Chappelle. One of my favorite comedians. One of the best to ever do it, if not the best to ever do it. Dave Chappelle, who I met when I was doing comedy, when I first started doing comedy, when I was crazy young. He was crazy young. And then, of course, I was in the pilot episode, the first skit, the very first skit, and you see the pilot episode of the Dave Chappelle show, the famous and infamous, iconic Dave Chappelle show. I'm in there. I'm in the first episode within, 30 seconds. Me. There's a reason why. I was in that pilot episode. And let me tell you something. When Dave Chappelle got his deal changed for usage of the Dave Chappelle show, I got nothing. My deal stayed the same in perpetuity. Remember Dave Chappelle was talking about, I signed something called in perpetuity. Well, so did I. I signed the same deal. I haven't seen a nickel. I wonder if anybody else who did the Dave Chappelle show saw some money when it flooded in because he was upset. He had his feelings were hurt about that deal. Felt like he was a sucker when he did that deal. Not it was the best opportunity at the time to do his own show, but he felt bad. They paid him up the wazoo because he felt bad about that deal. Because he had signed in perpetuity. Well, so did I, and I got nothing back. And I'm sure he's thought like, well, maybe I should give Mike Rap some, or maybe I should give all these other people. Maybe it's coming. Maybe it's coming. But I fuck with Dave Chappelle. I like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle. I defended Dave Chappelle the last time. The last time Dave Chappelle hosted Saturday Night Live, I defended him. I said that, Jewish jokes are funny as long as, they're funny and not malicious. Did a whole rant on it. You can look at it on the YouTube page. I know it's up. And Dave Chappelle did a whole bunch of stuff about Puffy, did a funny skit about the freak-offs, did funny stuff. He even made fun of the fact that he was trying to do funny stuff about the fires in California. Only as one of the best bobbing and weaving comedians could ever do, Dave Chappelle. This fucking guy's awesome. He's excellent. At the end of the skit, he talked about Trump and he said, Trump, do better. Do better. And, we all want you to do better. And we all should do better. And, make sure that when you're doing your thing, Dave Chappelle said, I mean this. Do better next time. Please, all of us do better, including the people. All of us do better. And he said, don't forget your humanity and please have empathy for the displaced people, whether they're in the Palisades or in Palestine. And everybody's like, whoo, whether they're in the Palisades or in Palestine. And I was thinking, you didn't mention, Dave Chappelle, you did not mention, or if they're being held hostage in Palestine. Now, I know it was a live show, and, when you're doing things live, you can forget things, and, it's going very fast. But you said, for the displaced people, whether they're in the Palisades or Palestine, but you forgot. You didn't say, or if you're being held hostage in Palestine. And let me tell you something. To be totally honest, and I would say this to Dave Chappelle, I didn't expect any more. But Saturday Night Live, you pride yourself on being this anti-establishment, punk rock, cutting edge, rock and roll, against the man, establishment of comedy, 50 years. This is the second time in 470 plus days. This is the second time in 470 plus days you've had one of your hosts mention or say something about free Palestine or the displaced people of Palestine, and not one time, unless I'm missing something, but I'm sure I would see it, but not one time in 470 days, and I don't know how many episodes that would be, but a year and a half almost, in a year and a half and a season and a half, not one time you motherfuckers have had one host or one skit or one castmate say anything about Israel, say the word hostages, and you call yourself cutting edge, and you call yourself anti-establishment, Lauren Michaels, Michael Che, and the rest of you? Not one time in 470 plus days, not one of you motherfuckers says Israel, Jewish, or the word hostages. But you got all upset last time. Performers and writers, they some of them didn't work with Dave Chappelle because they felt like he was transphobic or LGBTQ phobic. But this time everybody showed up. There was no protest for Dave Chappelle. Because if he's transphobic and LGBTQ phobic, mixed in with some Jew phobic, there's no problem. Little transphobic, little LGBTQ phobic, and a lot of Jew phobic. Not one time in 1.5 seasons. In 1.5 seasons, nobody says Israel, the hostages, nothing. Talking about do better. Get the f- out of here. What else is going on? Party is over. Getting ready to go back on the road. I'll be performing in San Diego, February 6th, 7th, and 8th. February 6th, 7th, and 8th at American Comedy. And then I'll be in Philadelphia at the Fillmore, February 14th at the Fillmore, 215. Love Philadelphia, love the Fillmore. I love Philadelphia. I'll be in New York, April 29th at the Gramercy Theater. All tickets, all information for all my shows are available at michaelrapaportcomedy.com. michaelrapaportcomedy.com. Yo, there was a slate of NBA games. And the NBA, this is getting ready to be NBA time. Because we have the NFL, which those games are good. Poor Mark Andrews. Man, that was crazy, Mark Andrews. I know Mark Andrews has got him. And I like Mark. I've had Mark Andrews on my fantasy football team. Of course, I love Lamar. I was kind of rooting for Buffalo. I picked Buffalo. But man, I missed that catch. It reminded me of Charles Smith versus the Knicks. Although I just saw the highlight of that Charles Smith versus the Knicks highlight. And I forgot that Pat Ewing was going to shoot, but he slipped. Anyway, man, I know that Mark Andrews, I can't even imagine. I mean, obviously, one play doesn't and shouldn't dictate a game, but sometimes it does. But that was rough. But Russell Westbrook, I need to give you a big bouquet. And Russell, 17 seasons, 5 teams in the last 6 years. One of the most tenacious, hard-playing Russell. I met Russell Westbrook at a Dave Chappelle party. And I told him, I was like, yo, I f*** with you hard. And I couldn't believe that. Russell Westbrook is like my size. Straight up. Russell Westbrook is like 6'3", maybe 6'3.5", at the very most 6'4". And he has been cast off and cast away. He's a top 75 player of all time. And he's certainly on the top 20 hardest playing players of all time. He's up there with Latrell Sprewell, Allen Iverson, Michael Jordan, Willis Reed. Guys that were known for just playing hard all the time. He's an MVP. 9-time All-Star, 2-time MVP of the All-Star game because he plays hard and he cares. You can say what you want. Russell West this. I'm not even going to call him Russell West Brick. All NBA member 9 times, 2-time scoring champ, 3-time assist leader, absolute first ballot future Hall of Famer. They call him Brody, but they should call him the Hurricane. Russell Westbrook comes at you like a hurricane. And the last few years, he was bounced around from here, there, back to there. The Lakers, the Clippers, Utah, back to Utah. They cut him. It looked like it was over. And a lot of people, I never said it publicly, but I was like, yo, it's done, man. Unless you're willing to adjust, it's done. When I was doing Skip and Shannon, this has been going on for years. But this guy, it is relentless. Russell the Hurricane Westbrook doesn't roll off the tongue very well, but he is a true blue, hungry hurricane. I mean, just coming in, a whirling dervish. And on the other side of the coin, the Denver Nuggets, who have probably the greatest player in the game today, the Joker, big body Joker, Jokic, Nikola Jokic, big body. The reigning MVP makes everyone better, and he has been on a tear also lately, getting triple-doubles sometimes before the end of the third quarter, which is just insane. And they didn't make many signings in the offseason. And when they brought in Russell, the love muscle, Westbrook in the offseason, it was like, yeah, okay. Well, they'll try him in Denver. They tried him everywhere. But when the Nuggets are healthy, they are still very, very, very good. Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, when he's playing at his best, they are a championship team. That kid, Christian Braun, white kid. But they have been injured. Murray, Aaron Gordon have missed a lot of games, and they plugged in Russell, and he has delivered extra level of energy that they needed, extra level of intensity that they needed, playing hard on both ends of the court. Yes, he makes mistakes. Who doesn't? And you could say what you want about the Nuggets, but they are more finesse than force. And Russell Westbrook is all force. He's an all force, all the time player. So he brings that good balance. How the West will be won is an absolute, it's a coin flip at this point. But the Joker and Westbrook, along with the rest of those champions, you have a chance every single night. Kudos to Russell Westbrook. Kudos to Russell Westbrook to dressing the way he dresses. Kudos to Russell Westbrook for not retiring when everyone said he should retire. Kudos to Russell Westbrook for not giving up on himself when everybody said he should give it up. Inspiration. Unbelievable. Salute Russell, the love muscle, a.k.a. the Hurricane, a.k.a. the Whirling Dervish Westbrook. Salute you. And like I said, what an incredible weekend of NFL football. All the playoff games have been fantastic and worth the wait. And like I said, my condolences for your summer, Mark Andrews. I predicted 3 of the 4 games. No one would have thought that Washington would have actually come in there and beat the out of the Lions, but they did. Jaden Daniels sent Detroit all the way to Cancun. And let me tell you something. I know that Detroit would rather be playing football, but Detroit in the winter versus Cancun, I don't know. But on Saturday, the Chiefs beat the Texans. They're going to their 7th straight AFC championship. That is crazy. That's crazy. They're going to their 7th straight AFC championship. That has to be some sort of record. We don't fact check at the I AM Rapaport Stereo Podcast. I haven't mentioned that recently. I AM Rapaport Stereo Podcast, we never have and never will fact check. And that game was tight for most of it, but my homeboy, Kelsey, you knew it was going to happen. You just didn't know exactly when it was going to happen, but you knew it was going to happen. Now you have the Chiefs versus the Bills meeting again, and those games are always special. Jumbo Josh Allen versus my homeboy. It's going to be in Kansas City. This is the game that changed what was the needle, the nail in the coffin to change overtime in playoff football, making it so both teams have a chance to score a touchdown in overtime. I really thought we were going to see overtime in Baltimore versus Buffalo, but like I said, Mark the Spark dropped that ball. Mark the Spark Andrews dropped that ball. Too many turnovers. Lamar turned the ball over, and this should have been their year, but fumbles, turnovers, snow, wet, doesn't matter. But just year after year, somehow, some way, Baltimore falls apart in the playoffs. I'm sorry. The truck. But Big Josh does not and did not falter. The Bills went undefeated, 10-0. They swept the table at home. Now they got to go to Kansas City. You got to deal with the Kansas City Chiefs, Taylor Swift, and the Swifties. You're not just playing Patrick, my homeboy, Isaiah Pacheco, and Travis Kelce. You're playing Taylor Swift and all of her fans. That ain't easy. Kansas City is trying to three-peat, 2 of which, if they do, will be with Taylor Swift and the Swifties. And in the NFC, Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Commanders. The NFC East, who would have thought? Saquon Barkley and Jaden Daniels are both absolute. Yo, Saquon, put your weight on. I ran Barkley, your uncle. I rock with you. Happy for Saquon. Would have loved to him to be a Giant, but you deserve greener pastures. And when I say green, I mean Philadelphia green pastures. And I hate the Philadelphia Eagles. Love performing in Philadelphia, I love performing in Philadelphia, and I do love Philadelphia. I hate the Philadelphia Eagles, and they respect when I tell them that I hate them, because I know how they feel about the New York Giants, the New York Jets, and all things in New York. But the Commanders, they beat the Detroit Lions. They crushed the heart and soul of that Lion. They beat them at their own game, going for it on every fourth down, every single chance they had. There were 0 punts in that game. This is the new wave of football. Gibbs is a superstar. Jahmyr Gibbs, love him. Amon St. Brown, Jared Goff. Oh, I wanted, and I thought they were going to win. But Jaden Daniels is the rookie of the year. Jaden Daniels is a superstar. Expect to see Jaden Daniels on all sorts of telephone commercials, sneaker commercials, hair care, toothpaste, all that this summer. He's sick. You need a throw? He's got you. You need a run? He's got you. You need a big play under pressure? He's got you. He's got you. He's got you. Jaden Daniels is the man. Both of the games that the Eagles and the Commanders had this year were terrific. The last game was a comeback win by Washington in Philly. But that was the game that Jalen Hurts got hurt in. Barkley had a big game in both of those games. I'm telling you something, it's going to be freezing in Kansas City. It is going to be brick in Kansas City. But I am predicting the Chiefs versus the Washington Commanders. I am predicting the Kansas City Chiefs and the Washington Commanders. And this ain't the John Riggins, Joe Theismann, Hogs. This is a new boot, new generation, high-flying, fast Washington Commanders football team. Jaden Daniels is for real. But the GOAT of GOATs is my homeboy. But I got my homeboy versus the future GOAT. I got the GOAT versus the future GOAT in the Super Bowl. Lock it in, baby. And if you want to sign up and make a little dough in all sports, go to CaptainPicks.com. CaptainPicks.com. We do NFL, we do NBA, we do soccer. We do it all. We get exotic. CaptainPicks.com. Join a team of champions by being a captain. Go to CaptainPicks.com. Anyway, I'm done. I'm not going to get into the hostage situation today. I'll get into it next time, I'm sure. But 3 beautiful young women came home, and it was a miracle. It was a miracle that they made it home. And that day was just, will go down in infamy like so many days, good, bad, and everything in between in the last 470 plus days. But that was a miracle that they made it home. And I'm just praying for the rest of the hostages to make it home ASAP, but we have a long road ahead of us regarding that. Anyway, stay safe, stay sane, and stay super duper disruptive. Stay safe, stay sane, stay super duper disruptive. And when I mean disruptive, I mean don't stop believing. Don't stop believing in the most important person, yourself. Miles Jordan, a.k.a. the Bleach Brothers, a.k.a. the Dust Brothers. Take me at it with something real nice. Take me at it with something real loud, but most importantly, end this puppy with something real funky. I am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. I'm out, baby.
I am Rapaport Podcast.